Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a cosmic debate that puts our giant neighbor, Jupiter, right in the spotlight. For decades, we've heard the story. Jupiter is our planetary bodyguard, the Jupiter shield, using its immense gravity to protect us from a constant barrage of comets and asteroids. It sounds comforting, right? A colossal bouncer standing guard at the edge of the inner solar system, deflecting cosmic projectiles that could otherwise spell disaster for Earth. The idea is pretty straightforward. Jupiter is a gravitational monster. It's more than twice as massive as all the other planets in our solar system combined. Anything that comes near it gets a serious gravitational kick. So when a long-period comet or a stray asteroid wanders in from the outer solar system, Jupiter's gravity can act like a giant slingshot, either flinging the object out of the solar system entirely or capturing it into an orbit around itself. We've seen this happen. The famous Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet in 1994 was a perfect example. Jupiter's gravity ripped it to shreds, and then it spectacularly crashed into the gas giant. Better Jupiter than us, right? This shield theory gained a lot of traction because it makes intuitive sense. Without Jupiter, many scientists argued, Earth would have been subjected to far more frequent and devastating impacts. The history of life on Earth might look completely different. Perhaps complex life wouldn't have had a chance to evolve at all if it was constantly being reset by massive extinction events. So, in this version of the story, we owe our very existence to this gentle giant, our silent protector in the dark. It's a compelling narrative, and for a long time, it was the dominant view in planetary science. But like all good science stories, there's a plot twist. In recent years, a new school of thought has emerged, and it paints a very different picture of Jupiter. This perspective suggests that Jupiter might not be a loyal bodyguard, but more of a cosmic frenumia, double-edged sword. Some simulations and studies are now indicating that while Jupiter does deflect some objects, it might also be responsible for sending others directly our way. How does that work? Well, imagine the asteroid belt, that vast ring of rocky bodies orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter's gravity constantly tugs on these asteroids. Think of it like stirring a pot. While some of the stuff gets pushed to the sides, some of it gets funneled right into the middle. The same principle could apply here. Jupiter's gravitational influence can nudge asteroids out of their stable orbits in the main belt, sending them on chaotic paths that can cross Earth's orbit. Without Jupiter's constant stirring, the asteroid belt might be a much more orderly, less threatening place. So, while it protects us from distant threats, it might be creating new, closer ones. This new perspective came from more advanced computer simulations. Early models were simpler, but as our computing power grew, we could run more complex and long-term simulations of the solar system. A researcher named John T. Horner has been a leading voice in this revised view. His work suggests that if you were to remove Jupiter from the solar system in a simulation, the number of impacts on Earth from certain types of objects, especially those from the asteroid belt, might actually decrease. The Jupiter shield suddenly looks a bit less shiny. It seems our relationship with Jupiter is far more complicated than we first thought. It's not just about deflecting long-period comets from the outer solar system. It's also about its influence on the millions of objects much closer to home. So, let's break down this cosmic tug-of-war. On one hand, you have the Guardian Jupiter camp. They point to the undeniable evidence of Jupiter clearing its orbital neighborhood and deflecting objects like Shoemaker-Levy 9. They argue that the sheer number of long-period comets originating from the Oort cloud, a massive spherical shell of icy objects far beyond Neptune, would pose an existential threat without Jupiter. These comets come in on highly unpredictable orbits, and Jupiter is our first and best line of defense against them. Without Jupiter, they say, the inner solar system would be a cosmic shooting gallery. On the other hand, you have the Menace Jupiter camp. They argue that the threat from long-period comets is statistically smaller than the constant simmering threat from the asteroid belt, and Jupiter is the primary culprit for destabilizing that belt. Its gravity creates what are known as Kirkwood gaps, which are empty regions in the asteroid belt where Jupiter's orbital resonance has cleared out all the asteroids. But where do those asteroids go? Some are ejected from the solar system, but others are sent careening inwards, towards us. So, in this view, Jupiter acts less like a shield and more like a celestial bully, kicking rocks around its playground, and sometimes, those rocks fly right at us. Let's look at the evidence for both sides. The shield theory is supported by the relatively low impact rate Earth experiences, compared to what we might expect in a solar system without a gas giant. Our moon is covered in craters, a testament to the heavy bombardment phase of the early solar system. The fact that things have calmed down since then is often attributed to Jupiter's cleanup job. It's like the solar system's vacuum cleaner, sucking up or throwing out most of the debris left over from planet formation. But the evidence for the other side is compelling too. The very asteroid that is thought to have wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago may have been a product of Jupiter's influence. Some recent studies suggest that Jupiter's gravity flung a large object from the outer solar system into the main asteroid belt, where it collided with another asteroid, and a fragment of that collision was sent on a direct course for Earth. If this is true, the most infamous extinction event in our planet's history might have Jupiter's fingerprints all over it. Not exactly bodyguard of the year material, is it? So, where does this leave us? Is Jupiter our savior or a silent threat? The truth, as is often the case in science, is probably somewhere in the middle. Jupiter likely plays both roles. It is a shield and a sniper. It protects us from some dangers while creating others. The key question is, what's the net effect? Are we safer with Jupiter than we would be without it? The scientific jury is still out on that, and the debate is ongoing. Answering this question requires even more sophisticated models that can simulate the entire lifespan of the solar system with incredible accuracy, tracking millions of virtual asteroids and comets. This discussion also has huge implications for our search for life elsewhere in the universe. For a long time, astrobiologists thought that a Jupiter-like planet was a prerequisite for a habitable world. The idea was that you needed a gas giant in the outer part of a solar system to shield the inner rocky planets, allowing life to flourish in peace. This was a key part of the rare Earth hypothesis, which suggests that complex life is extremely rare because it requires a very specific and lucky set of circumstances. But if Jupiter isn't purely a protector, then maybe that's not a necessary condition. Perhaps a solar system without a gas giant could be just as habitable, or even more so, because its inner planets would have to deal with a constant stream of asteroids being kicked in their direction. This completely changes how and where we look for exoplanets that could host life. Maybe we should be looking for systems that are calmer, without a massive gravitational stirrer like Jupiter. Or maybe the ideal scenario is a gas giant that's just the right size and in just the right place far enough away to not disturb the asteroid belt too much, but still massive enough to deflect the really big threats from the outer darkness. The Jupiter shield debate is a perfect example of how science works. An intuitive idea becomes the accepted wisdom, but then, with new data and better technology, we start to question it. We poke holes in it, we test it, and we refine our understanding. What seemed like a simple story of a hero and the planet it protects becomes a complex, nuanced narrative of a gravitational dance with consequences we are only just beginning to understand. Jupiter is neither a simple hero nor a simple villain. It's a fundamental force that has shaped our solar system, for better and for worse. Our existence here on Earth is the result of an incredibly delicate cosmic balance, and Jupiter is a massive part of that equation. Whether its net effect is positive or negative is a question that scientists will continue to debate for years to come. But one thing is for sure. Life on Earth would be vastly different without our giant, complicated neighbor. What do you guys think? Is Jupiter our planetary protector, or is it a cosmic menace that we've just been lucky to survive? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the